So I think, as you can see from the video today, we're going to talk about the domination of Google tools and AI. And to do the proper intro, welcome to the Droid Duo. I'm Gil Appel.
Hi, I'm David Schweidel, and as Gil had said, if you've been looking at the headlines recently, there's a slew of stuff that Google has been flooding the zone with as far as AI. It looks like this might be, the part of the trilogy where the Empire strikes back. But I think that's the real question: is, as we've got a behemoth and we've got a lot of AI startups, and how do they stack up? So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
So yeah, and we want to start with demonstrating some of the new tools that Google has, and then talk a bit about OpenAI's response, but talking in general, and it would tie to the AI bubble, hopefully, in everything. But the thing is, on this November 18th, Google launched their new update to Gemini, and the first thing people noticed was the Nano Banana Pro, like the image editing. And here's an example of an image created, like with the image on the left created by Nano Banana and the image on the right being created by Nano Banana Pro. And this has been doing this circulation on Reddit and elsewhere. And like, people are claiming that you kind of need a professional to understand that the image on the right is not AI made, is AI made. And I would have been easily fooled.
And I mean, I certainly would have been fooled as well. But just to dig into it a little bit, so I mean, if we look at the image on the left, not too long ago, we would have said that's a pretty good job by AI.
Yes.
Right? I mean, just a few months ago, we would have said that.
Yeah, and today we have the quality of the image on the left in video.
Yeah.
And it means that in a couple of months from now, we'll have the quality of the image on the right in video.
Yeah, and I think to me, the most striking difference, and I imagine this is what everyone else is picking up on, is that the Nano Banana image, the image on the left, it's much more polished. It looks like it's been photoshopped and airbrushed.
Yeah.
Whereas the image on the right looks much more natural.
Yeah, and I've seen other images, and by the way, almost all the images that we'll see today are made by Nano Banana Pro, and the ability of it to create images and to edit images and to add stuff to images that look realistic is like unbelievable.
Well, and I think the other part, again, just comparing both Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro to, say, ChatGPT, is the speed.
Yes, it's so much faster.
Right. I mean, I wait and wait and wait when I'm using OpenAI to create images, whereas I'll get the images in 20, 30 seconds max on
Probably
Gemini?
In Gemini, and you got videos in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I don't know the kind of the difference in the underlying models, but just from a user standpoint, if speed is something that you're concerned about, if you're trying to produce output of different variants so that you can kind of get inspiration, or are trying to put together a campaign and you want to produce enough images to have some choices to make, you don't want to sit in front of ChatGPT waiting and waiting for these images to be produced. You want your 5 or 6 options now so that you can move forward. So I think that's definitely going to become something that we pay more attention to.
Yes, and like one of the things I didn't put it in today because, again, it's like goes to the specifics of Nano Banana, but I did email it to you. Like the ability that someone posted on LinkedIn that they posted an empty room image and asked it to furnish the room with IKEA furniture and like say which furniture it is, like in a label. And then you can actually see a vision of your room. And I tried it with my backyard deck. I posted 2 images and it created a 3rd image that is not even from the same view that I took the 2 photos, and like furnished my own deck with images with stuff from IKEA. So the ability to do that, it's unbelievable. And like we're having all these skills, and like now I remember when Pixar was starting with their movies and everyone was counting hairs, and you can look in this image like how detailed is the hair of the person. It's like it's not a wave that is like has a mesh painted on it, but it's like real hair. Yeah, so this is Nano Banana, but there are many other things. One of the main tools is the evolution of NotebookLM. And NotebookLM, for those who haven't been trying it, it's a super massive engine that was like hiding in the background that people tend to forget it. Even Ethan Mollick posted today that he forgot about NotebookLM and went back to it to check how it is. And the thing is, you create your own personal library that the large language model worked with. And I tell my students that every course they're taking, they should have a course pack for that course in NotebookLM that they can interact with, but it can be useful.
Absolutely. But I'd go a step further and say that all of your courses as a student should live within NotebookLM so that they can kind of cross-reference each other. And I think one of the big things with NotebookLM, we worry about accuracy. Well, here's your chance to load up all of the content, and you can see kind of what sources can I bring in. This is where Google is going to have a tremendous advantage compared to, I mean, the only
Like
other company,
anything.
company that I can think playing in the same ballpark from a corporate standpoint would be Microsoft.
They're able to. They're not.
They would be able to, given the tie-in. At Emory, we are a Microsoft shop. In other universities, other institutions,
we're a Google shop.
You guys are a Google shop. So depending on your big vendor, right, all of your files, your email, all of your corporate documents can be fed into NotebookLM.
Not can be, are. And like all of our students has free access to the Gemini Pro and to NotebookLM Pro. But the university pays for that. And like the things it can do, it's like can do infographics or slide decks, mind map. It can do a podcast of all the items that you uploaded, a video overview. And I wanted to share the screen because I actually went to NotebookLM and created a notebook of our own podcast. Yes, I uploaded all the the infographics I made, the memos on the investment that we made, the 5 episodes in audio format, and like the plushy images and everything. And I asked it to create a summary of all of it. And then I asked to do some of the abilities. And the first thing I went was a quiz. And for almost anything here, apart from mind map and reports, you can customize it. So you can see if you want less questions, more questions, easy or hard. And ask it to do a quiz on the podcast that is like on some of the more quirky aspects of our podcast. So here in episode 2, what quirky merchandise did Gil reveal he ordered? And it's right here back behind me already.
I saw them on the shelf.
Yeah, and the blue one is heading to you after this episode. So it does the question, and and I can answer something wrong, which is a custom Droid Duo coffee blend, which should probably consider. It said not quite. Random coffee is a popular item for podcasts, but the hall opted for something more representative, and this is the right answer. Right. So you can get very custom based on what we said. It was not in any of the images.
Right.
I asked it to go create flashcards on the investment guides.
I just want to pause for a second. Let's go back to your and my day job, right? I give a lecture. I could capture that lecture. I could feed it into NotebookLM. And for my participation grade for the class, I could give them a quiz that was based on that particular day's lecture, right?
Yeah, and their interaction and what they said.
Yeah. To see how much attention were you actually paying, right? That's the way that AI is going to get integrated into higher ed.
I thought about this a lot more than this. Let's say you have a job interview.
Oh, absolutely.
You fit a lot of documents. You feel like your resume. You put it in the resume of the hiring manager, of anyone you can think of. Any document goes straight to the website of the company, and then give me a flashcard for my position. On how would I answer difficult questions and everything, and it's amazing because you get the answers.
If you're interviewing with a brand, it's like, okay, let me collect as much of the brand assets information about that brand as I can get my hands on, and kind of use NotebookLM as a means of role playing with you.
Yeah, so it will do that. So it was this, and you can modify almost anything. And I created an audio podcast. I asked you to make a video on AI side hustles.
Let's dive into AI side hustles. And get this, you don't need to know how to code. Mark Cuban says the real opportunity isn't just building AI, it's about actually applying it.
So it uses everything from the podcast. I asked it to do, this is hilarious. I asked it to do a slide deck on the Droid Duo.
So it put together from our podcast.
Yeah, and the merch images and everything. The only thing it didn't have is our pictures.
Okay.
So look what it did here.
Fair.
But so tell me the entire journey, like whatever we talked about in the podcast, and he did it here. And again, it also created an infographic on like hard questions that you might want to ask on AI that we can answer.
Yeah.
So all this, and this is just us, and like there are like featured notebooks on NotebookLM. You can see it here, and and I used it for a grant sub application at one time where
absolutely, and I can see the complete works of William Shakespeare.
Yeah,
no brainer.
Yeah, I like everything is here. I asked it like anytime the word surgeon was mentioned, and it would show you like the location and everything.
And so as fascinating and powerful as Google's made NotebookLM, let's also at least acknowledge they probably just wiped out God knows how many startups.
Yes, but that's the very big risk here.
Yeah, one of the big things that we've learned about LLMs and all of these generative tools, it's the inputs that you provide that are going to allow you to tailor it to your particular applications. I no longer need someone to do that for me, right? I can just dump everything that I have into NotebookLM and then say, give me new copy, give me new images, and it's going to be able to spin that up for me.
Anything, and fast. Again, fast is the key word here. So this ties up to the next topic I wanted to talk about, which is coding. I didn't have a working example for this. I played it yesterday a bit, but this guy, like Alcina, I don't know how to say it, like used Gemini to build a working app that recognizes hand movements from nothing in a few minutes. It was created in a few minutes. I tried to create something similar. It works. Use your camera to identify your hand movements, and you can control an object by like opening your hand would zoom out, closing your hand would zoom in, and moving it around by flipping, changing colors by doing other movements. It's insane. You don't need to know how to code to create something like this. There's no excuse for not creating a prototype for your dreams anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and I think about Replit with this. It's way faster than Replit.
Oh, I tried this yesterday. It was incredibly fast in comparison. I have not tried building kind of camera controls, using something like Replit or Base 44 yet. But again, this comes back
to know how to do it. You just need to think,
but
I want to do
back
this.
To, I think, the core of today's message is other companies should, any company working in the AI space with the deluge that Google just put out there should be worried, because I already have an account with Google. I already use Google products.
And Google knows me.
Google knows me. So if my choice is add on one more Google product to the set of tools that I use, or try to figure something else out and start personalizing it, hands down.
And a new invoice. Yeah.
Yeah, Google's going to win every time.
And it's going to be cheaper because you're paying the same price for all of those things. Not to talk about the fact that they're offering it for free for students for 1 year, I think.
Yeah.
It's like,
but I think, to me, what's also exciting is the being able to open the doors for creators, right? That I don't know how to code, but I've got a kick-ass idea.
Yes.
Let me go and build it now. So
at least a prototype. We've seen the problems of turning vibe code into a prototype.
Okay. So it's not going to be production quality, but if I'm thinking about, I got an idea and I want to get attention, and I want to build this, and maybe I want to attract the attention of potential investors, having that prototype that they can actually experience. So I'm going to try this over the weekend. I'm going to try to build a video game with gesture controls.
Yes.
Right?
An immersive video game, yeah.
An immersive video game with gesture controls, right? My coding experience is primarily limited to MATLAB. All right. I know a little bit of Python because I use ChatGPT to go back and forth from MATLAB code to Python code. But I am not a computer coder, right? I do not do coding. But let's see how far I can get when it comes to building kind of a video game that you literally play with your hands. And I mean,
Yeah.
and part of this is, look, I've got young kids at home. Gil's got kids at home.
Create a Jenga game. A Jenga would be amazing for this.
But like, we all complain about the screen time that our kids are spending.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, you're just going to play another game and sit on the couch and be lazy. Imagine how it could change things if, say, okay, I've got, this is like the Microsoft Kinect from years ago, right? Or the Nintendo Wii. But now anyone can build this, right? Put a little webcam on top of your TV, or maybe it's already got one, and I can project the game onto a TV that I could be controlling with my hands and my body.
Yeah.
That's amazing that anyone can now do this. Unfortunately,
and it's more than that, because our kids don't have patience. It's really fast to do it.
Unfortunately for coders, this is possibly going to be something to be concerned about.
Well,
right? Like,
again, if you're a good coder, you'll be the one transforming into a product.
To worry about. The best coders have nothing to worry about. But if you're not in the top, what would you say, decile?
Yes, because there's going to be a large demand still.
Yeah, but if you're not a top decile coder, an average person using these tools will beat you.
So I want to expand it to, if you're not the top decile anything, you should be really concerned now. Like, but the thing is, like, most people are the top decile in something.
The same thing holds for writing. The same thing holds for, artwork. We're starting to see a little bit of saying, okay, for music, we're going to have an AI music platform, and that's going to be distinct from a human music platform. I don't know. Nice idea, but it's music at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've seen it in Sora too, and we can talk about, we'll talk about it in a second. But no one wants just an AI platform.
No.
So I want to move on this.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover, so let's move on.
No, just I want to talk about the OpenAI's response. And OpenAI response was a big code red. Like, we need to hold on, change everything. We need to beat the Gemini 3. And the thing is, and they did announce Garlic will be introduced in early 2026. That it'll be better than anything we can imagine, which is a great thing about competition, right? It drives improvement.
This is what gets us better products. But wasn't it just 2 years ago when Google announced a code red, or Meta announced a code red because of OpenAI?
Yeah, it's funny to see how Apple's code red ended up by firing their chief AI manager. But they didn't fire, he retired, and he's going to accompany the company next year. But and this is the thing, think about what we had since November 12th. November 12th, OpenAI introduced ChatGPT 5.1. Everyone is shocked. It's the best model ever. A couple of days later, November 17th, Grok 4.1 comes out. Still the highest IQ model out there. But again, defeats all other models. A day later, on November 18th, Gemini 3 comes out. That has been an insane week for AI. Like, code red all over platforms. And again, November 24th, Claude released their Opus 4.5. So the transition from one model to the other is unbelievable and moves all around super fast. So yeah, they're doing code red, and we're hyper focused on just the chat engine and everything, but it was kind of their fault.
Yeah,
they were going anywhere from porn to social media to whatever they can imagine. It's you should have been focused.
Well, and I think going back to something I think we talked about in some of our earlier episodes, or I talk about this in my AI and marketing class. There was a deck in the early days of Gen AI from Sequoia Capital, and what they drew a distinction between was the model layer and the application layer. Yeah, everything that for a while, everything we heard was focused on the models, right? Which model is beating the benchmarks, or which is the best performing of these models? I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yes, we want to have the better models out there. Granted, we're probably talking about incremental improvement, And we haven't said anything about the costs of these different models. But what Google has started to do a bit more of with this latest dump of tools that they've given us is lean into the application layer, right? It's
Yes.
what can I do with the model?
Yeah, and making it so intuitively easy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people even notice if you're using Chrome that you have like the Gemini icon in the top right side that can go throughout. Again, think about privacy issues, but let's leave this aside for now. That needs a whole separate episode. But it can go through hundreds of tabs that are open. Like everyone has like multiple tabs open all the time. It can scan all your tabs, can analyze like what's important, what's not, what you should be doing, tell you about things that are happening, doing all this interaction. And this is just in Chrome. And I think one of the things that Google is like driving here, and this was also getting NVIDIA a bit worried, is their new tensor processing units, the Ironwood chipset.
And this is Google's chip.
Yes, their own chip. And I think this is one of the things that we're benefiting from the Pixel phones, because having a chip that, at enterprise level that you don't try out too much is one thing, but having a chip that like everyday uses by everyday people that you learn all like from the boundaries and interaction of people really helps you improve what you're doing. And this was the same with the Apple hardware. And the performance improvement of Ironwood is unbelievable. And this is what driving the Gemini performance. This because everyone else is writing NVIDIA chips.
Okay.
They're writing their own chips and are managing to do it so much faster, which is kind of unbelievably impressive. It's cheaper to run and it's way faster than Microsoft or OpenAI's.
How long do you think it is before NVIDIA starts to modify, and adopt a structure that's a little more similar to Ironwood?
I would assume like half a year ago at least.
That's why, it's an advantage for now.
Yes. And like, again, this goes to the bubble discussions. There might be an AI bubble. We're not finance professors, but the thing is, the AI is useful now, way more than it used to be. And I think that's a great point to raise about the application level.
Right, like there's an expectation that students coming out of college, you're going, starting a job or switching jobs. The use of AI is becoming the norm.
It's like not knowing how to use Office.
Right.
It's like it's another tool, and like this is why, again, I go to this all the time. Like, why I don't like AI as a buzzword. AI is a tool. You don't go to AI as like for solving things. And I always tell my students, when someone proposes you a solution, you need to ask like 3 questions. First, describe it without saying the word AI. If someone cannot describe the model, or like this one, I don't like the AI certificates or AI degrees or whatever, tell me like what does it do without saying AI? The second is like, does it solve a problem I really have? And this is the problem with OpenAI. They were solving problems that no one cared about. No one needed an AI social media platform. And the last thing is like, what are the limitations? And I think that today's companies are dealing with those things like kind of really well. And listen, the benefit of Google, part like look at this. This is how AI is embedded in all their services today. And this is what they've been doing since day one.
Yeah.
It's like bundling in let me see if I can find it. So if you look at let me see if I can share my screen here. Let's go to this. So this is a list of all of Google's products. And it's like, this is featured for all. So see how many products they have. From Android to Android Auto, Android TV, contacts, finance, Gboard, everything is here. And the thing is, everything is connected to everything.
Yeah.
And
this is going to become, it's a data play, right?
Yes.
So ultimately, if you're going after the consumer, which many of these companies still are, right? The focus is on, we want to generate revenue from consumers using AI. Okay, well, what information do I have about this person that's going to allow me to do a better job than the guy building the model without this data.
Yeah, and we have it, and again, you see it. We have it in Chrome. We talked about that. We have it in Gmail. We have it in Slides, Sheets, and Docs. Like, in essence, you would need different apps for all those things. But Google gives you it in everything. It can connect to your Google Drive. It can connect to building apps. It can do all those things together with the knowledge of you.
I mean, we got YouTube up here. There's nothing stopping Google from saying, okay, based on your digital life that lives across the Google ecosystem, we're going to start creating personalized video shorts for you to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, or let's say I've seen someone do it today, like they're following some investment guru or whatever. And like, instead of watching that video for 2 hours where they talk about all the stocks, just create a summary and like tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And the next step again with an agent is just invest in those things.
Yeah.
And like, I'll choose the guru for you, and you'll tell me how's the guru performing, and like show me how other gurus would do, and I can like switch, or again later it will switch automatically for you. But like, these are the things it can do now across everything. It will know your risk assessment and risk levels. It will have your connection to your calendar, to your bank, to anything. And again, dangerous as it could be, and again, that should be in a different episode.
And that's a choice that we've got to make as individuals, right? Like, we've got to decide, are you comfortable with Google having this much information, this much access to your information?
To you, which they already have.
Much of it they already have, right?
Yes.
And this is where, again, this is one of the things where I think the newer companies are at a disadvantage, because I'm already
they don't have this.
But what they also don't have is as deep a relationship with individuals, right? I'm already using Google. They know this about me.
People love Google. It's more than that.
Well, but it's,
you want to try something new from Google.
Look, I'm going to share even more information. Am I going to do it with Google, who already has a lot of information about me? Or am I going to build a relationship with another company where I'm starting from scratch?
I can tell you a personal anecdote on this. So, as I said, Gemini is free for university faculty, students, and staff. But I also have my own Gemini account that I paid for. And the Gemini account that the university has is blocked from Google. So it cannot be trained. They cannot see the data. They cannot see anything. On the other hand, and I understand that that's the way it works with any Gemini Enterprise Edition. Okay. You cannot delete any prompt or a document that you put in Gemini. So my preference was, well, Google knows everything about me already. I'd rather use my own personal Gemini than go to the enterprise version.
Sure. Well, and this is where, again, from an enterprise standpoint, we get into security issues. From a university standpoint, we get into FERPA issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so
this is why I did the FERPA infographic and shared it with my students.
There will be those decisions between, am I going to pay for a personal license? Am I going to use the one for, my organization? But this is the future that's here, right? We're not marching toward it anymore.
Yeah. I totally agree about this. And it's a problem, like on sharing information or not sharing. It's like what I sent to my students, because the university, on one hand, they can try to ban it.
Yeah.
And you can only use university-approved tools, and that will not work. It will not work the same reason that you can't tell the students not to use AI.
Yeah.
But we can teach them to be smarter. But my thought, and like you laughed when I showed you this image, but this is a question. Is Google like Thanos, being inevitable, and we need like everyone to gang up to defeat it? Or what's going to happen? I think, as you said, I think Microsoft is a big threat.
Yeah.
Because they have the same access to businesses, to enterprises, to information, to data.
Yeah. Amazon's a different kind of threat.
Yes.
Right. Amazon has a ton of information about everyone that shops with them.
Yes.
But it's a slice. It's the commerce side of things. It's not the communication side.
So it goes back to the ecosystem question.
Yeah.
Which ecosystem are you going to choose to live in? And everyone that's not an ecosystem, even Netflix. I think Amazon can destroy Netflix in a second if they really cared about it. And like that was the only thing they wanted to do. But all these ecosystem companies, that's what they're building. They're building reliance on you.
Right.
So if you're relying on Amazon, that I'm trying not to, but again, I'm super hooked on Google, then you would really like to be in their ecosystem. You're getting a benefit from using more products of the same platform. But being a one-off product, like, again, OpenAI or Netflix or all these companies, they might lead the field today, but how can they lead the field tomorrow? OpenAI doesn't even have their own chipset. They're relying on NVIDIA. Right. They need others. So I think this is like where we're at this point. I don't think that Google has destroyed the market completely. I think the big companies,
we may see a code red issued by Google in 6 to 12 months.
No, tomorrow, because you don't know.
Tomorrow. Right? Like this field is moving very quickly, but I think what this shows us is don't count out those larger organizations that maybe weren't the ones kind of starting this wave. Actually, wasn't the original Transformer paper done by Google Research?
I don't recall exactly. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me.
I think the All You Need Is Attention paper was actually...
That was Google's? Okay. I know that paper, but yeah.
Like, that's considered kind of the initial paper.
Yeah.
And I believe it... I'm just checking it now. I want to make sure if I've got this right. Yeah, these were all Google researchers.
Not surprising. They're doing a lot of amazing stuff there.
The work was performed at Google Brain and Google Research, right? And so...
Probably DeepMind now.
What's that?
Probably DeepMind now.
Right. But in some sense, we think about, we all started paying attention to Gen AI because of when OpenAI released ChatGPT. Google was investing in the underlying architecture.
Yeah, the back end.
The back end that ChatGPT was built on.
Yep.
So, is this kind of the Empire Strikes Back? Maybe. Or
that's not the final episode.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Is Google's clearly playing the long game.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they.
I wouldn't even count out Apple, even though they've failed miserably so far.
No, but
they have the loyalty that no one else has.
I'm leading on because, you talk about an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right.
They have the best ecosystem, they have their own chipsets. They have tons of money.
Yeah.
And like same again, Google is the same position. Microsoft should probably start devising their own chipset, but I think they're in a great position to do that too.
But you look at Apple with the the hardware that they've got, people who are Apple customers, they're all in.
Yeah, their lifetime value is at least double than any other competitor.
And so you add a high-performing AI that is part of that. That's part of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what Siri's supposed to be.
Yeah, and Siri's stupid at this point. Siri's like the old Google Assistant at this point.
Right. But imagine Siri at that level, like at the
we're gone.
GPT-5 level.
It's going to be like the movie Her.
Yeah, I mean that's where, and yet it's integrated into all of the hardware.
Yeah, fully integrated, hardware, software, everything. Like it's like you're still able to answer your Apple calls anywhere. And I never bought into the Apple system. I'm an Android person, but like I can agree they have the advantage there.
So this game is far from over.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing, what we're seeing is, competition is good. We as consumers end up with better products.
Yes, until AI comes and kills us all. But like, I think that dream is really far in the future.
Until AI kills us, we'll have more fun with the better AI products that we've got.
Yes. Okay, I think that's enough for today.
All right.
And
thanks
we'll
for everyone
see you in 2 weeks.
paying attention, and we will see you guys